Hi everybody, I'm Zachary from Holland Technology. Thank you very much for watching this video, in which I'm going to introduce the use of the web GUI and the way to do configuration. Similar to all the other intercom systems, the web GUI allows users to do complicated configurations, such as the settings for role profile, the groups party lines, input-output interfaces, cloud communications, and etc. There are two ways to have the access to the web GUI. The first one will be the Wi-Fi connection, and the second one will be a direct Ethernet connection. On both the Geo Central Station and the Solidcom H1 antenna, there is a built-in Wi-Fi module which can be turned on from the menu of the devices. On the Geo Central Station, the Wi-Fi switch is under the network section, Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and you can turn it on from here. Connect your PC to the Geo Central Station's Wi-Fi and type in the Wi-Fi's IP address, which in this case will be 216.10. And then you will see the login interface of the web GUI, and you can just type in the username and the default password, which is 128 in this case. And then you will see the web GUI. Plug in the Ethernet cable from the LAN port. Connect the other end to the computer. Go to the Ethernet setting of your PC. And change the subnet to the same as the Geo Central Station. And use any number from 0 to 255 other than the same IP address of your Geo Central Station. And here you can type in the same IP of the Geo, which in this case will be 0.10. And here you'll see the login interface of the web GUI, and just type in the username and the default password, which is 128 in this case. And then you'll see the web GUI. Once you've logged into the web GUI, you'll firstly see a topology diagram show you all the devices under the same network, including the Geo Central Station, the antennas, all the registered and online bell packs, and the charging docks if it is connected to the network. And by clicking on the table, you can see all the devices, including the central station, antenna, and all the bell packs informations over here. And you can import and export the configuration. For example, if you've got a prepared configuration to upload, you can do it via this box. And if you want to save the setup to a local file, you can also do export configuration and share this with the others. Or if you have some issues with the system on set, you can export the log and share this with our after-sales talents, and they will help you to solve the issue. Generally, in the previous settings, you have to manually assign every bell pack a role. However, from this interface, we give you two shortcuts, which is one-click configuration and the menu configuration. So here you will see all the created bell pack roles. For example, now we have audio, director, and lighting, and already have 10 registered bell packs, so that will be the maximum amount of roles you can assign. For example, you can just type in, let's say, 3 audios, 2 directors, and 5 lightings in this setup, and you can just click on the apply to send those settings to the corresponding bell packs according to their numbers. Or you can choose each role to each bell pack manually via this interface. So for example, I want to change the bell pack 1 to audio, and I want to change bell pack 4 to director. I can just click on those and to click apply to send it to the bell packs. If you want to change the settings of the Geo Central Station, you can go to this part, which will give you 2 options. Firstly, the key management. So in this section, you will see all different keys that will indicate the 8 different keys on the Geo Central Station. So just like those on the bell pack, you can assign every key different audio source, a different call destination and a different key mode. Especially for the geocentral station, you can assign every key a different color. So this color represents the color box on the monitor for that key, not the indicator's color. And this part will change the indicator's brightness, and this part will change the total volume level for this key's audio sources. And here, you can also assign a key among those 8 keys to be a reply button. For example, if you want to reply to any calls from other parties, you can, for example, assign key H as a reply, and then when you're pressing the key H, you're actually pressing the reply. And remember to click on the apply button to save the setting. If you want to change the settings of the geocentral station, you can click on this bar, which will give you all the audio settings, network settings, and the general settings. Starting with the 2-wire, you can change its input and output, change its working mode, cable compensation, resistance compensation, terminal resistance, and also you can click on this Auto Now option, and this will help you to implement the best settings based on the current network for this port. And you will have individual settings for all the 5 4-wire ports, including the input, output, and the pin-out switch. So you can choose it to be a standard mode, 4-wire, or a cross mode. And since the Geo has 4 Dante channels, you can individually set different input and output gains for all those channels. For the walkie-talkie port, you can choose to turn on or off the Vox option. And you can also adjust the side tone for the geocentral station's mic. And these are some general settings for the networks. And the WAN settings is mainly to connect the Geo to internet. And the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi settings is to allow you to turn on or off the Bluetooth on the geocentral station. If you turn on the Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, you can wirelessly or remotely connect your PC or cell phone to geocentral station to do remote setup. The antenna settings will be very similar to the geocentral station, but with less options. For example, you will still have the 2-wire, 4-wire settings, network settings, including the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi settings, and those general settings. In the bell pack section, you will see all the registered bell pack, and you can change every bell pack settings via this page. This looks very similar to the key management section of the geocentral station, but with only 4 keys. So similarly, you can also assign every key a different audio source. For example, that could be a channel or party line, or even a specific bell pack. So if you want to set up one-to-one talk, you can do this via this part. And also you can assign a call feature to this button. So when you're long pressing key A, you're actually talking to both director channel, bell pack 2, and also sending over a call signal to the director channel. And you will have 5 different key modes for every key. So the most used key mode will be talk and force listen. Using this, when you're long pressing the key, you can trigger the push to talk feature. Single pressing the key, this will latch the button to be always talk, always not talk. And you can change volume for every key. You can also change the audio input and output here for both the Limo interface and the Bluetooth. And also you can change your own side tone via this part. And you can choose every bell pack a different role also from this section. For example, I can change this bell pack to be lighting or to audio. And also I can change the name for every bell pack. And for the priority, it means if you're setting a bell pack to be a high priority bell pack, when the person using this bell pack talking, the volume will be raised up by 6 dB. And if this bell pack is a low priority bell pack, the volume will be tuned down by 6 dB. And for the roaming switch here, if you choose some of those bell packs and turn off its roaming feature, then this bell pack will only be available within that antenna section. You can also delete specific bell pack via the delete button. In the system section, you will see the settings for the role and the channel. So the role is basically a preset for the bell packs, and some will also call this profile. Here you will see an identical interface as the bell pack settings. And once you've done the setup, you can save this setting for each role, or you can create more roles in the future, and to click on the apply to send it down to the bell packs. So if you're using some of those roles on your current bell pack setup, and if you want to synchronize the settings, if you make some changes to the current roles, you have to click on the apply to synchronize the changes to the current bell packs. The channel is more like a party line, a conference or a group. So in our definition, every bell pack can talk into the channel, and all the other bell packs will be able to hear the speech. And you can add more channels here and also rename those to whatever you like. And here we've also created a shortcut. So assuming that you're preparing for a show and you haven't done any setup yet, but you just want to let everybody to be able to talk, you can click on the all-in-one group, and this will put all the bell packs into the channel 1. So at least people can talk on the channel 1 before you've completed all the setups. In the cloud user section, you can configure all the cloud users in this network, and the setting interface will be identical as the bell pack and the key management from the GeoCentral station. We will use another video to explain how you are able to create a cloud space, register a cloud account, and send out the invitation link to the cloud users. In the I/O devices section, you will see all the analog and the digital audio interfaces channel settings. So before, we've seen the basic audio port settings here from the GeoCentral station and also from the antenna. However, in this section, they're considered to be like a user or audio source for the channels. For example, you would like the people from the director channel to be able to listen and also talk to the 4-wire devices here. I mean, the 4-wire port is from the stage, is from this antenna. So you can just choose different channel. For example, if you want the camera people to also talk and listen to the 4-wire port from the stage antenna, you can also do this. And if you want to split the input and output, for example, you only want people from director to be able to listen to the 4-wire interface, but you want the people from the camera channel to talk to the 4-wire interface, then you can do the setup like this. In the upgrade section, you will see the firmware information for all the devices within this network. And we provide 2 ways to allow you to upgrade the system. The first way will be that you can upload a local firmware package, or you can get all the devices online via the WAN settings that we mentioned before. So once the network's devices are all online, then you can click on this online upgrade, and the system will search for the latest firmware from our server and apply. You don't need to do anything else, just wait. There are 12 groups or party lines in the standalone H1 system, but with the GeoCentral station, the number will be increased to be 100. So by having such many groups, you can put different people in different groups to allow them to talk in private without having to interfere the other communications on set. At the end of this video, I will go through all the steps to show you our way to prepare for a show. You will need to create all the channels you will need for this show. Let's say I need director, I need camera, I need lighting, and I need audio, for example. And after doing this, I will need to turn to the role section. And assuming that I don't have any roles at the beginning. Let's say we'll have 4 roles because we have 4 channels, right? First one will be the director. So I want the director to be able to talk to, of course, director, not call, and talking force listen, and to camera. Probably I also want to call them when I'm talking, so I will put a camera channel into the call destination. And also I want to use this announce feature, so when I'm long pressing this key, I will mute the other guys within this channel. So that's the feature for the announce key mode. And I also want to talk to the lighting at some points and also the audio guys at some points. Yeah, and I want my priority to be high. And I will also add a camera role. And the camera will be able to, of course, talk and listen to its own channel. And also they need to listen and talk to the directors. And probably they also need to talk to the lightings. And then the lightings. So similarly, they will have their own channel and also director and perhaps also the camera. Last but not least, I will need the audio channel. Okay, after you've set up all the roles, and then normally, most general way to do the assignment of the roles will be you get into every bell pack and you choose a role for every bell pack and save. But like that will be annoying, especially when you have like 20, 30 or even more bell packs registered. So using the shortcuts we mentioned at the very first beginning, you can click on the one-click configuration and now you see all the roles that you've just created. So in this setup, let's assume we have 2 directors, 2 audios, 3 lightings, and you have 3 cameras. You click on the apply, and then the system will assign those roles to the corresponding bell packs according to their ID numbers. Here you'll see the bell pack 1 is assigned to be an audio bell pack, and some of those are cameras now and some of those are lightings now. Once a role is assigned to a bell pack, the settings will pop up automatically. The above will be all for the Solidcom H1 wireless intercom system. Please note, the web GUI for the standalone H1 antenna will be similar to the Geo Central station. Therefore, you may refer to this video when you are operating the antenna alone. This is the end for this video. Thank you very much again for watching. See you next time in the next video.